Hello and welcome to the second session of the online meditations, which we do have weekly on Tuesdays. And you're always welcome to join live or watch the recording afterwards. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about reconnecting to the body, as it is the way to stay present rather than just simply stay in our thoughts. Usually our minds either think about the past or think about the future. When we think of modern life, we really notice that we are often disconnected from our bodies. Instead of actually feeling the sensations in the body, we often objectify the body. We force it into a specific shape or size. We might be trying to control many of its functions. For example, just ignoring hunger. So instead of eating when the body is sending hunger signals, we would not eat. Maybe we don't rest even though the body is tired. We're just trying to pack as much as possible into our days. Sometimes we even push through the physical pain, and of course that can actually result in injuries, sickness, all kinds of issues. So these effects of disembodiment and how we treat our body, or rather how we mistreat it, include fatigue, exhaustion, sickness, injuries, stress, anxiety, and a lot of times actually the symptom of this disconnect with the body is all kinds of escape habits, addictions. Most often than not, we actually cannot control our bodies. We cannot control the fact that we age. We cannot control everything around us, and our bodies seem to be almost out of control. So we develop these addictions to kind of deal with that in some way. I talked a little bit about escape habits last time, but basically we are often not aware that we are doing it even, just because we are just not able to connect to the body. So what happens to us actually is we live from our heads. Other teachers often talk about floating heads. We just walk around the world as if we were just heads unattached to our bodies. It's a kind of funny picture, but if I notice that in myself, I often actually do this. I simply seem to be just my thoughts and my emotions, maybe, but I don't really am aware what is the state of my body right now. So we miss these wise messages from the body when we just stay in our heads, often to the extent that the stress, the anxiety, the exhaustion can result in really severe consequences. For me, just a personal story from my side, for me it actually resulted in a job burnout. So sadly, I was not noticing that my body was sending me signals that it's too much. I'm overworking. I am not having enough rest. I have too much stress, too much responsibility. Until one Friday evening, after a long workshop, which one was actually online, that was during the pandemic, I basically turned off my computer and just started crying. So I went into full blown job burnout, and I had to take some months off work, and was not able to actually come back to this job, even though I tried part-time. I simply had to leave completely and recover, and it took time, of course. So that's the many dangers of this disconnect from the body, actually. So I wonder about you. How do you feel your connection to the body? Do you think you can feel the sensations in your body pretty well? Many people, of course, do. I would say most people who practice sports or yoga some kind of at least low level or low impact activity often do feel the body better. People who sit most of the time at the desk, always hurry from task to another, will have probably more trouble connecting to the body. I would like you to try just a quick experiment before we do a longer meditation. So in this experiment, we'll just feel our hands. You can simply bring your hands in front of you, look at your hands, and just simply try to sense anything you can sense from inside of the hands. Just noticing what sensations are present in the hands. And can you sense something in the fingers, in the palms of the hands or wrists? Perhaps you can sense something, perhaps not. It does not actually matter. This is just for you to experiment with, to be aware. What is it that you can sense or you can feel? And then just for a moment, try to rub hands against each other for like 10 seconds. And do this again. Just put the hands in front of you and notice the sensations inside the hands. Notice any changes from before you were rubbing the hands to now. Maybe it's a little bit easier to sense the warmth. Maybe there's some tingling sensations, heaviness, pressure. Again, there's no right or wrong way to sense. There is no right answers here. We will do similarly just the body scan later in the guided meditation, and just important to remember is each of us will feel our bodies a little bit differently, and it's not really that important whether the sensations are pleasant or unpleasant. We'll just allow them all in meditation. And that's actually what mindfulness meditation is simply paying attention to what's present, what's happening in the moment, without judging it. And of course, that's a difficult task. Our minds are very judgmental, but that's what we strive for. It doesn't mean that if we are judging, we should beat ourselves up for it at all. Let's talk a little bit about bodies and how do we feel our bodies. First of all, it's completely normal that we are not used to feeling our bodies, especially if we do have some pain or unpleasant sensations. If that's the case, we will have a class on what to do with unpleasant sensations as well. But in general, it's possible in body scans to, for example, just focus on pleasant sensations in order to avoid this issue of unpleasant ones. Most often, though, the reason why we are not able to connect to the body, as I was saying before, it's because of our minds. Our minds are very busy, running from one activity to another, having 1,000 thoughts a minute, and it is particularly difficult to keep our minds focused on something else and not thinking. Basically, it's like with the pink elephant. If someone tells you not to think about pink elephant, I'm sure you're right now thinking about pink elephant just because it was mentioned. So that's our minds. They are very sticky. They stick to everything, to every thought, everything that's happening around us, and so on. But we can train it, of course. We can train to be present more mindful. But for that, we actually need to establish these connections with the body, because body is the only thing that is always present in the here and now. The body is not living in the future. It's not living in the past. While mind can do that, of course. And this is our connection to reality. So that means that if we want to experience mindfulness, relaxation, present, and insight or wisdom that comes from this practice, we kind of need this connection to the body. And today we will explore the practice of body scan, because it's one of the easiest and most relaxing meditations. And it does not require a focus on just one anchor, such as, for example, breathing meditation would be focusing on only one anchor. It is still very effective in shifting that attention and putting the mind away from thinking but to something else. And of course, in time, it helps us realize that we can be with both pleasant and unpleasant sensations. So as I was saying before, the body usually sends all kinds of signals to us, and we have a tendency to interpret these signals in some way. So it's important to just understand that we can be with both, and it's possible to accept the body status as it is. We don't have to change it necessarily or control it. So just a few notes before we start with the meditation. If you are able to find some kind of nice, comfortable position. Now, it's important in this meditation of body scan that it's usually very relaxing, so people get sleepy. If that happens to you, I would suggest a sitting posture rather than laying down. And of course, you can slightly open your eyes, let some light in case you get sleepy, because here the focus is more on the noticing the sensations rather than falling asleep. And then, of course, we start with actually finding one meditation anchor, like breathing, maybe listening to sounds, or sensing your hands again, or feet only. And that's to have one place that hopefully is pleasant, where you can just return to if you get distracted in the meditation. So this is kind of your safe place to return to at any point if you get distracted or you find something that is unpleasant. And always, of course, remember that you can follow the instructions as it suits you. So if there's something unpleasant or you don't like feeling some sensations, it's okay to shift attention to a more pleasant sensation, or of course back to that anchor I was mentioning in a moment ago. So I really like the quote, just to finish it off before we start meditation, which is Eduardo Galeano in Walking Words. He writes, "The church says the body is a sin. Science says the body is a machine. Advertising says the body is a business. And the body says, I'm a fiesta." So I hope you will let yourself feel that fiesta, this music and dance of changing sensations in the body during our body scan. So just find comfortable position. Hopefully the back straight, the body well supported. Let the body be heavy, fully grounded. If you prefer, you can close your eyes. And just remember to always listen and trust yourself to know what's best for you. And as I was saying, the first thing to do is to find that anchor, a pleasant sensation in the body, breathing or sounds you can simply pay attention to for a moment. And you can always return to that place, sensation, if you get distracted. Just focus attention on your anchor and feel free to experiment with different anchors to just see which one is the easiest one for you to focus on. For this exercise, sometimes it's best to choose feet or perhaps sit somewhere where the body is in contact with the ground. This is typically the place in the body where sensations are easiest to detect, and hopefully also a pleasant sensation, so easy to follow. But it's of course also fine to follow the sounds. Just allow the sounds then to be simply a background noise without focusing on each separate sound, kind of listening to it as if it were a symphony, a soundtrack. There'll be sounds from this recording or in your environment. Just let these be. Then finally, of course, you can just choose breathing, the most basic anchor in meditation. Just feeling the breath enter and exit the body. Now that we have established an anchor where we can return to if we get distracted or for whatever other reason, we'll start the body scan, just noticing sensations in each part of the body as we place attention. Now you don't have to force any relaxation while you do it. Of course, if there is a release of tension, that's much welcome. We'll start from the top of the head, simply noticing all around the head, ears, and face. Any sensations present there. Maybe there's not much that you notice. Just letting the facial muscles relax on their own. Noticing sensations around and behind the eyes. cheeks and mouth. Noticing whether the jaw is clenched and perhaps unclenching it, letting it drop. Noticing sensations in the throat, inside and outside, neck and shoulders. If there's any tension, letting it release naturally, letting the shoulders drop, arms be heavy, again without actually forcing any of it. And scanning the arms down to the elbows and lower to the wrists and hands. Noticing sensations in each part of the arm, the left arm and the right arm. Here perhaps noticing some pleasant sensations, the warmth, rest, softness. It's noticing what the mind does when it notices that something is pleasant, but without staying too long in these sensations, simply moving to the back and noticing anything that's present in the upper back, shoulder blade area, moving down the spine, all the way to the bottom, all the way to the lower back and the seat area. Now maybe there's some tension or unpleasant sensations, which is not uncommon if you sit a lot at work or stand for long hours. But again, we are not changing the sensations, just noticing. Noticing how it feels to you, what makes it unpleasant or pleasant, and how the mind reacts when it notices something unpleasant. And then moving on to the chest and the belly, letting the chest and belly fully fill in with the air as you breathe. Just softening the belly. There's no reason to keep it tucked in. Just let it soften. There might be some emotions or judgments arising at any point that you're paying attention. It's okay to feel emotions and have thoughts. But right now, simply let them be and return to the body. Just experience sensations in the body. And remember, if anything is too unpleasant, you can always go back to the anchor, whichever anchor you chose, and focus there for a moment. Relax for a bit, and then return to the scan, to noticing another part of the body. Now we move on from the hip area. If you're sitting, noticing how the seat supports you, the touch point of the body to the seat. Just trying to feel the area from inside out. And moving lower, noticing sensations in the upper legs, relaxing the muscles without forcing the relaxation, just letting the legs be heavy. Noticing sensations all down the legs, from the top of the legs, through the knees, lower legs, and then ankles and feet. And for a moment, staying with the feet, focusing attention on the feet for a short while. Perhaps labeling some sensations that are there quietly in the mind. Maybe there's tingling, pressure, warmth, heaviness, pinching. There's no right way of describing the sensations, just noticing and labeling if it's helpful. And now simply extending this focus from one part of the body, from the feet, to the rest of the body, to the whole body. Perhaps by slowly moving the attention to extend it from the feet to the knees, and then from the feet to the hips, feeling legs on the entire length, and then from the feet to the shoulders, and eventually from the feet to the head, and adding the full length of arms. Feeling the body as one field of sensations, all sensations at once. Some of them may be pleasant, some may be unpleasant. But letting the mind simply take them all in, staying present, staying with whatever's happening, without the need to change it, control it. And just noticing sensations in the entire body for a short moment of silence, remembering to always come back to an anchor or just bring back the mind if it gets distracted. Sensing entire body, all sensations that are present in the body, all at once. Now we will be slowly finishing our meditation. I invite you to move slightly the fingers and toes. Maybe take a few deep breaths. Slowly reopening the eyes, as the light might be quite bright. And returning to the surroundings with no hurry. Definitely taking some time to move and stretch whatever your body needs. Thank you for meditating and trying out our body scan today.